Good afternoon, I'm Dan Jennings for the Blue Wave Report. Even as the Trump administration has aggressively gone after undocumented workers and migrants, it has not prioritized punishing those who hire them. In the 12 months ending in March, only 11 employers faced criminal prosecutions for hiring undocumented workers. Of those 11, only 3 served prison time. And now comes more word that the president is failing to practice what he preaches. For nearly 2 decades, the Trump organization has relied on a roving crew of Latin American employees to build fountains, waterfalls, sidewalks, and rock walls at the company's winery and its golf courses from New York to Florida. Other employees at Trump's clubs were so impressed by the laborers who did strenuous work with heavy stone that they nicknamed them Los Picapedras, Spanish for the Flintstones. Sorry if I slaughtered that. For years, their ranks have included workers who entered the United States illegally, according to 2 former members of the crew. Another employee still with the company says that it remains true today. Workplace raids, at best, impractical and at worst inhumane. The Mississippi raids were the culmination of a year-long investigation into illegal workers in the state. And all this for what? The destruction of the local economy, increase in poultry costs to the American consumer, and it also costs on average about $10,800 to deport a single person. The cost of placing one person in detention for a night comes in at around $180. Now multiply those numbers by the several hundred that were taken in and consider how wasteful that is, given that the Department of Homeland Security has a finite budget. The money spent on these raids, detention, and deportations would be better spent going after violent criminals and other genuine national security threats, not on migrant mothers and fathers who pose no danger to anyone. As Anne Frank once said, families are torn apart, men, women, and children are separated, children come back from school to find that their parents have disappeared, and women return from shopping to find their houses sealed and families gone. And all this is happening because a racist who was raised by a KKK member, was found guilty of discriminatory housing practices, has pushed an agenda praised by David Duke, no less, and has made countless racial statements, knows his only path to re-election is stoking fears. And hey, if he can cause a race war to process, hey, well, then he can suspend the elections, declare martial law, and become the dictator that Hitler only dreamed of being. And to you Second Amendment people out there, think on this. In order to do this, he's going to have to come for your guns. So the likelihood of you living out your little delusional fantasy of taking on the government could very well become reality. And we will see losses exponentially higher than in the first Civil War. For the Blue Wave Report, I'm Dan Jennings. Good day, everybody.